This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Well, there you have it. The 2019 Indianapolis 500 is now in the books, and what a race it was. A whole lot of suspense, drama, and a ton of close calls. In the end, a stunning victory that was hard fought, coming down to the very last seconds. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Trevor Shirley. Congratulations tonight to Simon Pagenaud. It's been quite a month for the newest Indy 500 champ. You'll remember he also won the Grand Prix just a few weeks ago. So much happening today leading up to that fantastic finish that we got to see this afternoon. Let's head right out to Dave First and Tony Canal, and they are live at the track with all of the day's highlights. Hey, guys.
I'd say the most amazing thing outside of Simon's day, which was absolutely dominating, the most amazing thing is it's 6 o'clock and we're still dry.
So we should talk to the people that do the weather, because, I mean, well, I don't think it's going to rain.
As a Hoosier, you know just how unpredictable the weather is.
I definitely learned. I thought Miami was bad.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
How about the day? We're going to get to your day, everyone's day, but Simon and Roger Penske, here we go. 18 of these things, man.
I mean,
all right. It's
unbelievable.
It's just incredible. Let's get to some of the highlights. We're going to hear from Simon Pagenaud here momentarily, but let's begin with the chairman of the board, Tony George.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
There we go. Tony, chime in when you like. You started the race, 33 cars, 200 laps. Simon Pagenaud jumping out front from the pole, of course. Trouble early, though, for the 19-year-old Colton Herta. Out early. I mean, it's been hit and miss with this young man all season long. Gearbox issue. Herta finished last in 33rd. First round of pit stops. Helio Castroneves, watch him. He bumps James Davison. Davison didn't really help that situation out, though, did he?
I didn't see that. Well, obviously I didn't see anything. But Davidson was just slowing down to come into his pit box.
Yeah, and Helio got assessed a penalty, and then more pit issues. That's Will Power clipping his fuel guy, and then more issues. This time,
well, Will got sent to the back because of that.
Exactly.
And then now we got another issue there. Wow.
Jordan King clipping a tire, which hit his crewman Chris Minot. He's been transported to Methodist Hospital, listed in stable condition. King finished 24th today. First crash today, Kyle Kaiser, a young man, of course, knocked out Fernando Alonso last Sunday. He just lost it, turn 3, cold tires out of the pits. Kaiser finished 31st. Lap 135, then pit problems for Alexander Rossi. The fuel probe didn't make the proper connection. Fuel never went into the car. This is a costly 30-second stop. Didn't lose much ground, though, because further back on pit road, Marcus Ericsson spins as he enters the pits while everyone else is pitting. So Rossi only lost a couple of places in all that.
Wow.
You see Ericsson.
That's really easy to do, Dave. You come in, you have to use first gear, and when you downshift, the rear wheels lock, and then you have a tendency, to spin if you don't.
This is the restart here, and Oriol Servia maybe blocking Rossi a little bit. Servia, by the way, a lap down during all of that. Lap 178, this changes everything. Sebastian Bourdais runs Graham Rahal right into the ground in this one.
That's wrong, man. That's wrong.
And big contact up against the wall. Felix Rosenquist was caught up in it. Charlie Kimball clips Scott Dixon, who was having a nice day. Zach Veach was involved. Hinch was also involved. He got through it all, and you see Graham.
Graham wasn't happy.
Not happy.
Rightfully so. I mean, I saw a lot of disrespect today. I mean, I think because the race was too close, track position was too important.
They red flagged the race. Here we go with the restart. Pagenaud, who was needing to save fuel, well, the red flag was huge for him because he didn't have to. Full rich in the fuel mixture the rest of the way. Rossi comes charging back with 3 laps to go, but hang on, with 2 to go, Pagenaud comes charging back. This is in turn 3 around the outside, TK.
Wow. That was a nice move, and that was obviously what won him the race.
It won in the race. To the checkered flag, here they come, and Simon Pagenaud gets it done, wins by just over 0.2 of a second. Just 35 years old. A Frenchman led 116 of the 200 laps to win his first Indy 500, and just like his friend Will Power a year ago, comes away with a May sweep. Rossi, as you take a look at the top 6 now, Rossi finished second today. He led 22 laps. Takuma Sato was third. Joseph Newgarden was fourth. He led 21. Will Power was fifth. And Ed Carpenter, he was in the top 5, top 10 all afternoon. none too happy with a 6th place finish, but still a decent day for Ed Carpenter Racing. What'd you make of that 103rd Indianapolis 500?
It was, I think we got to work on our package a little bit, to be honest with you. I think we need to race a little bit better.
When you say we, what do you mean?
We as a series. We can add some downforce to the car. Firestone did a great job bringing a better tire. IndyCar added a little bit of downforce, but I think we need to add some more to be able to have more passing.
But as a driver, I mean, you go back 3 or 4 years ago when we had just an insane amount
when
of
I won,
passes
it was,
everything.
Yeah, I think that's
Would you prefer that? Or
that's too much.
Too much.
When we went to extremes,
right?
We went from too much to not enough. Now we got to meet in the middle, and I think we will.
What needs to, I mean, you guys have added a little more wing.
We just need to add more total downforce. We have so many things underneath the car that we can do that.
Yeah.
That probably we'll do that. That will be probably a winter. We always test here in October. That'll be something that we'll be talking to Bill Pappas and those guys.
We're going to hear from Simon Pagenaud, who's yet to talk to all the local TV stations. Our Brad Brown is standing by up on the catwalk here at the Speedway.
I feel bad for him. I told him, do not pour milk in your head. And he did.
He did.
Right now, it's all dry and stink.
Well, I mean, everyone goes and congratulates. You walked over and congratulated Simon Pagenaud, rather. It's kind of like a welcome to the club moment, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I told him. I said, enjoy. You became one of us.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think he has any idea what he's done so far.
You spoke to some of the disrespect out there on the race course, and that's a smooth segue into Alexander Rossi. Again, he led 22 laps today, comes home second. Here's Rossi after the race.
There was a lot of disrespect out there. In fact, the cars were 1, 2, and 5 laps down, and defending is absolutely ridiculous, and IndyCar needs to do something better about that, frankly. But the 27 boys did a really good job recovering, and hats off to them. I mean, I think we had the car to beat. The Napa and Andretti Honda was sensational in traffic. We could really go forward and do what we needed to do. So yeah, it's disappointing that things happen, but ultimately with that last yellow, I don't think it affected the end result. I think the yellow really helped Simon because he was struggling on fuel mileage and we weren't, and that was probably the difference maker today.
Okay, your take on that.
I don't disagree with him. I think, you know, first of all, the way the rule is written is until you're a lap down to the entire field, you don't have to let anybody by, which it puts a lot of people in a difficult position, because let's say Survey at the time got a lap down from Simon, but he does not have to let Rossi go, he can still fight.
He can still defend his position.
Because it can
go
Rossi. Yellow, Simon can pit and he can take his lap back. I don't necessarily agree with the rule, but it's the rule, and then we all have to respect. But I've been in that position quite a bit this year, unfortunately.
Right.
And especially when you're talking about the 500, you try not to get in the middle of a fight, especially the first and second place. So I don't disagree with Rossi, but I think there's nothing we can do about it.
Was there other disrespect? You talked about it a couple of minutes ago.
A lot of blocking, big time. I mean, we had so many
Is that because it's so difficult?
Oh, because you don't want to lose the position. So difficult to pass.
Right.
And sometimes the guy that was blocking, he actually got caught up and had to lift and lost momentum. And he's going to lose that position to the guy behind, and he puts a block. And I mean, that's just, it's the nature of the racing. But I mean, I don't like to see that. I got blocked a few times. I got extremely mad because I don't do that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's the Indy 500.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's hear from Ed Carpenter. Ed came home third again, riding in the top 5, top 10 all day.
How about the day? Quite a battle out there.
Yeah, it was fun for a while. We just didn't have anything at the end, so disappointing end of the month for the team and preferred freezer. You know, happy to see Chevrolet get a win with Simon, but I don't know, it just didn't. Car wasn't as good there at the end as it had been earlier in the day, and I don't know. Got to look at the data. Lost the balance a little bit. Was quite loose at the end, and just wasn't all that quick like we felt like we had earlier. So thought we were gonna be able to fight, but on the restart I just couldn't get going, and Takuma got me, and then Will got me, and Joseph got me. So just not the way you want it to go. You feel like you get set up at the end of a race with a restart like that, sitting third, you're in a pretty good spot, and just couldn't get it done.
My apologies. He came home sixth, led 7.
He was third in the last restart.
Exactly. He led 7 laps today. You can sympathize with what Ed's going through.
100%, especially that's all he does. I mean, Ed has stepped out and he just do ovals, but this place, I mean, it's his life, and he's been up front every year. I know the feeling, Ed. It took me 12 years.
Well, here's the thing. That was his 16th Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for a while, and I get the feeling, I mean, he has so much passion for this place. He doesn't want to give up retirement until he wins
He's good enough. His team is good enough. Eventually,
and he's matured over the years, has he not? He's a different driver now than he was 10 years ago.
100%. And Ed is extremely respectful. I mean, at the racetrack, he's a pretty clean driver, a guy that will give you the run of your money. But look at the way they fought. He fought with Sato going into turn 1.
Right.
There was no issues there. And but yeah, I mean, I can tell how upset he was, and rightfully so.
Let's talk about your afternoon. Again, we continue to wait. We're going to hear from Simon Pagenaud, the winner of the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500, just a matter of moments or so. But your day today, it was interesting at the beginning, and then
we had a waiting game. You know, I put myself in the top 10 there, top 12. Me and Dixon, I was just saving fuel, and actually I saved too much fuel, and we didn't pit when we should pit, and then we actually went yellow, and I had to pit because we were going to run out, and pitting in a close pit is going to cost you going back to the back.
Right.
We should have run out of fuel.
Still,
they ran me out of fuel. When our engines run out of fuel, the fuel line, the engine doesn't have enough pressure to pump the fuel back to the engine, so we had to stop, change it. We lost a lap, and then
what happened here? This is you and Santino Ferrucci coming off pit road.
Well, we just left the pits together, and eventually I said I had to give up. I said, you know what, go ahead.
It's not worth it.
No. I mean, look at, I just, somebody has to give up. If he's young, he will learn. He had a great race, but it wasn't worth it. I just let it go.
Ferrucci came home 7th, likely the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year. This is earlier again. You climb into the car to begin the race. And the emotions, when you climb into the race, I mean, I was standing next to you guys, and the family's there, Leo, your boys,
I mean,
Lauren.
It gets worse every year, man. I get more nervous. I mean, I told Lauren today, I don't know what's wrong with me. You know, it's just, wow. I was the most nervous I've ever been.
Really?
Today. It's good, though.
It's good. Well, that's the fire.
That's what it's all about.
I was going to say, that's what brings everyone back for many years to come. Much more here. We're going to take another first quick break here as the News at 6 rolls along. Again, we're standing by Simon Pagenaud. We'll hear from him live here in a matter of moments. Simon Pagenaud, the winner of the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500. So much more with T and myself, everyone here at RTV6 after this quick timeout.
Just sitting there, right?
Day first, Tony Kanaan back live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Still hasn't rained now.
No, I'm waiting. I felt a drop.
They felt a drop. We just did the math. 10 top 10s now for you at the Indianapolis 500.
I know, and 18 times, so that's not bad.
5 top 5s, 10 top 10s. That's not bad, right?
No.
Oh, and by the way, you and Scott Dixon both leapfrogged Mario Andretti for laps completed here at the Speedway.
Wow.
So you are now 6th. Dixon, I believe, is now 7th.
I like that. Dixon,
and your boss, AJ Foyt, still leads them.
Yeah, he will never let me beat him.
I don't think anybody's
But he's
going to
happy
beat AJ.
that I beat Mario.
Yes, he is. You guys both leapfrog Mario Andretti. All right, let's hear from some of the other guys as well. Still waiting to hear from Simon Pagenaud, the winner of the 103rd running of the Indy 500, joining the club with Tony Kanaan and a few other guys. But let's first hear from Takuma Sato. Sato was like mid-pack pretty much the whole race, and all of a sudden...
on the last restart.
I mean, it's like,
no attack, no chance.
Exactly. No attack, no chance. Takuma Sato comes home 3rd.
Yeah, it was an exciting race, isn't it? I mean, there's a huge congratulations to the Simon Pagenaud. That was a great win. The water and an incredible run from him, and Alex and I did everything I tried, but we were not quite there yet. But considering we were lap down and the 31st at one point, I think Tim did an incredible job to get me back to the pace. And last 15 laps was an amazing 500 race.
How much better did your car get as the day went on, though?
Well, I mean, in the end, there were a lot of attention raised with the track temperature. The car was sliding all over the place, and but that gives to the fans and like premium the great battle. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it.
The irony is, his teammates' incident in turn 3 helped him out a little bit.
Yeah.
So
helped me out too.
It helps some guys out.
A lot of people. Simon,
namely Simon Pagenaud. I mean, here's the thing: explain to people when you're trying to save fuel, how you do it inside the car.
So you have two choices, right? You have a fuel knob, which is a fuel mixture that you make the engine leaner, so it will pass less fuel through the injectors, but you lose power, or you have to lift, because here's a track that you go flat out. So those two, sometimes you have to do both.
Yeah.
And obviously the guy behind has the advantage and is always quicker because he's drafting you.
I was going to say, one of the issues he was facing, it wasn't maybe so much fuel conservation as no one else really would take over the lead.
He had no help, and he had to lead. And by doing that,
you're burning more fuel up there.
You're pitting 2 laps earlier than everybody else, 5 laps earlier than the guys behind.
Yeah.
And that actually, depending on how you do it, because you only have a certain number of gallons that you can actually put in your fuel tank.
Correct.
So if you run out, you burn too much and you pit off of your window, you don't have enough fuel to finish the race, so you have to meet a number, and that's what was tough for Simon.
In a weird way, yes, you're leading the Indy 500, which is great, but you're hurting yourself in the process.
You got to lead the right lap.
Yeah, it's interesting how all that plays out, and certainly came out okay for Simon Pagenaud at the end of the day. Let's hear from Connor Daly. Connor had a nice afternoon.
Yeah, I passed him. the last 2 laps.
Well, that's why he finished 10th. You finished 9th. Let's hear from Connor Daly, though. A good afternoon for the Noblesville native.
That last 20 laps seemed very different from the race prior to that. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, IndyCar just screwed us. I don't know how they put Sato in front of us. That was like I'd never seen Sato the whole race, and all of a sudden they put us in front of him. So he checked up on the restart, and I was in between gears, so we just got jumped. So that was a shame. Our car was fast enough to be in the top 5 for sure. And we fought there all day, which is awesome. It felt nice to be in the lead group and fighting. But yeah, it was just a shame we came up short.
Okay, so explain what he's talking about there.
I have no idea. How can somebody just put somebody in front of you?
There's got to be telemetry somewhere that shows that Sato was out in front.
Yeah, but everything's electronic. Come on. It's not like they decided. They go back and they look at it. I mean, that stuff cannot... Mistakes like that don't happen anymore. I don't know. I mean, he's upset, obviously. I don't know what happened on the restart, but as far as positioning cars, forget it. I mean,
it's pretty cut and dry.
Yes, yeah, it's impossible to make a mistake.
Okay, what time is it? Oh, you got to go.
I got to go home.
This is the big goodbye.
Put my kids to bed.
Well, you're on tonight at 11 o'clock. Put the kids to bed. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, guys.
We'll put the big goodbyes tonight at 11 o'clock, but thank you for everything you've done this year. And we'll see you next year?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's like a long line of drivers I want your job right now.
So. They are not getting. They want my job in my race car. They want my job on TV.
Always.
But not happening.
Great job all month long. Tony Kanaan back with so much more. I promise we're going to hear from Simon Pagenaud here at some point in the next half hour as we continue live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Starting to sink in a little bit now, just all of a sudden.
Here we are, back live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. When you win, you get to stand this close to the trophy. I'm not sure. Simon Pagenaud, the champion of the 103rd running of the Indy 500 with the kiss. There it is. Man, this is crazy. What kind of a day has this been? Take me back to the beginning, I guess. We saw you out on pit lane, and a lot of emotions kind of with that group right there. So now that you're standing here all these hours later and it's come to fruition, how does it feel?
It's just starting to feel real now. It's... I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll cry. I don't want to cry on TV. But, it took a lot of work to get to this point. It feels like winning the lottery, but more than that, because this was a dream as a kid. When I started racing, I was 8 years old, but when I got interested in racing, I was 4. And I was from a family that was not in racing. So very difficult to get in and understand the sport. And let me tell you, my first race was an absolute disaster. It was raining, and that's what comes to my mind right now. It's my first ever race. It was just, it was horrible. So I had to work my way on my way through. And, obviously I've been raised by amazing parents. My dad's a pragmatic business owner. Gave me that side of the coin, and my mom was a dancer, so she gave me the artistic side. But I just feel so grateful so passionate as well about my sport. That's what transported me today. And the fans, you know, the energy, the positive energy that I used from them just pushed me to have the spirit drive at the end.
I was down there in your pit box with the family during that last 5 laps. The wave of emotions from coming and going and coming and going in the lead out there. What was it like in the car, though, that last 3 laps? Rossi goes by, and then you go by him again with 2 to go, that late battle.
Listen, when he went by, I was like, it's going to be... What is this? What is this? It's not good. But when he passed me in turn 1, I stayed close, and I was like, we're good here. We are really good. 4 laps to go. That's perfect timing. And I thought, well, let's just reset. Let's make sure Sato doesn't get by me. Let's get the draft and time it. So I get him with two laps to go. And I did just that. Honestly, it went perfectly according to plan, even though it was pure instinct driving. And then I had a little poker card in my sleeve at the end when I did the dragon in the backstretch to try to break the draft, really.
Dave First is standing by trackside with us there. I think Dave's listening. You have a question for Simon? Is that correct,
I do,
Dave?
because if Simon remembers this from last year's victory banquet that I hosted, I had to cut him off short. He was talking about willpower because they were telling me to wrap. Tell him that tomorrow he can go as long as he wants at the victory banquet, okay?
Last year at Victory Banquet, you got cut off talking about Will. Dave says, you're more than welcome tomorrow night to just keep talking.
I didn't feel like I got cut off. I thought, you know, obviously you got to leave time for the winners. Certainly tomorrow, I was already thinking about that. I was like, I'm going to have to do a speech tomorrow.
Yes, you do, yes.
I don't want to forget anyone. Yeah. So we'll make it sweet and short and fun.
Real quick, we found your spot on the Borg Warner down here is going to go under Jacques Villeneuve and right beside Dario Franchitti as well. Pretty cool spot for you.
It's amazing. Jacques actually drove with me at Schmidt in 2014, I believe. And I'm a big fan of Jacques because I used to fight against Schumacher in F1. Dario has been a model for me, and Simone is obviously Team Penske driver. And I'm next to Will. So, you know, we keep the copy-paste kind of thing going on.
Well done, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Time to send him on his way. Simon Pagenaud, winner of the 103rd Indianapolis 500. We'll be back with more Trackside 6 coverage live from IMS after another break.
Great deals now.
Dave First and not Tony Kanaan. Brad Brown joins us back.
Not even close. I have driven exactly 0 Indy 500s. I have, however, talked to a dozen Indy 500 champions. That might have been my favorite post-race interview.
I'd say we've known Simon Pagenaud for a while now. He used to come to our station back when really no one gave him any love whatsoever. And I just find him to be a wonderful individual.
Personality, great, and I think he appreciates this. Listen, any of these 33 drivers would appreciate this. His connection to this track, and they're tearing the place apart now, but his connection to all of this is just so strong. And by the way, I didn't get to mention this. I think they're trying to get the Borg to France on a field trip in the span of the next few months.
Ooh, that sounds like something you and I should tag along for.
Do it.
A couple of key moments in this game. Let's show you what happened. The big accident out in turn 3 again. This was lap 178, and really, I think, changed the complexion of everything for Pagenaud because he was on a huge fuel-saving and then this happens. Not so good for Graham Rahal, but that allowed Pagenaud to go full rich, as they say, at the end of the
It really
race.
did, and that red flag completely, when they stopped it, completely changed the game for everybody for that final dash. For the two guys right here, Graham Rahal and Sebastian Bourdais, not a lot of love when this was all done.
My car was getting better as the race was going on. We had gotten ourselves into the top 5. Guys made a great strategy call to pit a little bit early, go hard. Obviously, we were a lot better than Sebastian, but man, you know, I hate stuff like that. I hate blocks like that, and incidents like that can end up with somebody killed. And I think he knows that. And I think, you know, he didn't say much, but it's disappointing. I mean, it's another year that we have to sit and think about this.
Just we had a strong run with that Sailmaster on that number 18, and you know, we just gave it everything we had, and for sure, in retrospect, you wish you had given up the position because you don't want to go on race car and a no result, but it's a bit harder than that when you're behind the wheel.
Now, there were 7 cars involved in that accident, but one driver that wasn't was James Hinchcliffe.
Watch this.
Because this was had to be the move of the day.
How does this happen?
It didn't involve, I don't know. Great spotter, great reaction. You watch him. That's Hunter Ray going low. Both of these guys are trying to avoid this, and watch this. There's only one lane that's going to get Hinchcliffe through here.
Wow.
There's the 2 cars broken. Everybody else in the grass. He got it through. Started 32nd, finished 11th. He was happy with it, kind of given the day that it was, but happy to get through that.
Plus
at the end right
21 for the mayor of Hinchtown. We're going to end back in Victory Lane. The celebration will roll on for some time. We're going to hear from Simon Pagino tomorrow right before the victory celebration. But congratulations again to 35-year-old Simon Pagino, Haley McDermott, his fiancée. I can only imagine what this party is going to be like going into the wee hours.
Wow, it's just getting started, and what an end to a great day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Roger Penske, win number 18. Congratulations for all of us here at RTV6.
A new job, a better life. Watch Hiring Hoosiers.